The battery sitting inside your electric car right now has a hidden expiration date, and the world's biggest battery maker just admitted they cannot fix lithium forever. So they are building something entirely different that could change everything overnight. Here is what nobody talks about when it comes to electric vehicles. The lithium inside every EV battery is not as abundant as you think. Most people assume we have enough lithium to last for centuries, but the reality is far more complicated than any car company wants to admit. Lithium mining happens in only a handful of countries around the world. China, Australia, Chile, and Argentina control almost all of the global supply. If any one of these nations faces a disruption, the entire industry suffers. Mining lithium is also incredibly expensive and requires massive amounts of water. And the environmental cost of extracting lithium is much higher than people realize. So the electric vehicle revolution has a raw material problem that nobody solved yet. That is why CATL started looking for alternatives years before anyone else did. And now their new battery technology could completely rewrite the rules of the game. Most people get this completely wrong about the future of EV batteries. They think lithium will simply become cheaper and more available over time. But the data tells a very different story about what is actually happening. Global lithium demand is expected to triple within the next 5 years alone, and supply simply cannot keep up with that kind of explosive growth rate. So, the price of lithium has become extremely volatile in recent years. It spiked dramatically in 2022 and then crashed just as quickly afterward. That kind of uncertainty makes it impossible for automakers to plan ahead. Imagine trying to build millions of cars when your main component keeps changing price. That is exactly the nightmare scenario that every EV manufacturer currently faces. And this is where CATL's new battery chemistry enters the picture with a solution. The company is not trying to eliminate lithium from every single application. Instead, they are developing multiple battery technologies for different vehicle types. Sodium-ion batteries have emerged as the most promising alternative to lithium right now. And the reason is surprisingly simple when you look at the periodic table. Sodium is literally everywhere on Earth and costs a fraction of lithium. You can find sodium in ocean water, salt deposits, and even common table salt. That means supply chain disruptions become almost impossible with sodium-based batteries. And countries that lack lithium mines can suddenly manufacture their own batteries. This is a geopolitical game-changer that most people have not considered yet. But sodium-ion batteries are not perfect, and they come with their own trade-offs. The energy density of sodium-ion batteries is lower than current lithium technology. That means they cannot store as much power in the same physical space. For long-range electric vehicles, this remains a significant limitation today. But for smaller city cars, the difference does not really matter much. And for grid energy storage, sodium-ion batteries could be absolutely ideal. So CATL is not choosing one technology over the other in a simple way. They are building a portfolio of battery solutions for different customer needs. This strategy makes them far more resilient than companies focused on one chemistry. And it positions them to dominate multiple segments of the energy storage market. Now here is what makes this truly fascinating for the future of driving. CATL has already demonstrated sodium-ion batteries that perform well in cold weather. Traditional lithium batteries lose significant range when temperatures drop below freezing. But sodium-ion chemistry actually handles low temperatures much better than lithium does. This could make electric vehicles far more practical in colder regions of the world. Scandinavian countries, Canada, and Russia could finally embrace EVs without compromise, and that opens up entirely new markets that were previously difficult to serve. The charging speed of these new batteries is also showing remarkable improvements. CATL claims their sodium-ion batteries can charge to 80% very quickly. This matches or even exceeds what current lithium batteries can achieve today. So the daily driving experience might actually improve with this new technology. But there is a challenge behind this technology that few people discuss openly. The production process for sodium-ion batteries is not fully optimized at scale. Manufacturing lines need to be completely rebuilt for this different battery chemistry, and that requires billions of dollars in investment before any real production begins. CATL is spending heavily on research and development to solve these manufacturing problems. They are also building new factories specifically designed for sodium-ion production. This is not a simple switch that happens overnight in existing facilities. The transition will take years and requires careful coordination with automakers worldwide. So while the technology works in laboratories, mass production remains the real hurdle. And this is where CATL's experience gives them a significant advantage over competitors. The company already produces more EV batteries than anyone else on the planet. That manufacturing expertise cannot be copied quickly by new entrants to the market. CATL has spent over a decade perfecting their production processes and quality control. They understand exactly what it takes to make billions of reliable battery cells, and they are applying that knowledge to sodium-ion technology right now. So when they say they can scale up production, they actually know what they mean. Many battery startups have failed precisely because they could not manufacture consistently. But CATL has proven they can deliver quality at massive scale repeatedly. This is why automakers trust them more than any other battery supplier today. Now let us think about what this means for Tesla and other major automakers. Tesla has always positioned battery technology as their core competitive advantage. Elon Musk talks constantly about their 4680 cells and manufacturing innovations. But CATL is actually the company supplying many of Tesla's batteries currently. So, Tesla's battery strategy is already deeply connected to what CATL develops. If CATL successfully commercializes sodium-ion batteries, Tesla will likely adopt them. This would give Tesla access to cheaper batteries without developing the technology themselves. And that could allow Tesla to lower vehicle prices and capture more market share. BYD is in a slightly different position because they manufacture their own batteries. The Chinese automaker has already invested heavily in their own sodium-ion research. So there is a technological race happening between these two battery giants. BYD and CATL are both pushing hard to dominate the next generation of batteries. Whoever gets to mass production first will have an enormous market advantage. And both companies are expanding their manufacturing capacity as quickly as possible. Toyota has also announced their own solid-state battery research with impressive claims. But solid-state technology remains years away from commercial viability at scale. Sodium-ion batteries could reach the market much sooner than any solid-state solution. That is why CATL is focusing their immediate efforts on sodium-ion chemistry. They want to deliver something real to automakers within the next few years. The impact on pricing could be substantial for electric vehicles worldwide. Batteries currently account for about 30 to 40% of an EV's cost. If sodium-ion batteries reduce that cost by even 20%, prices drop significantly. A $30,000 electric car could become a $24,000 one. That would bring EVs into direct competition with petrol vehicles on price alone. And when EVs are cheaper to buy and cheaper to operate, adoption skyrockets. This is exactly what CATL hopes to achieve with their new battery technology. They want to accelerate the global transition away from combustion engines. But they also want to maintain their dominant position in the battery market. The commercial vehicle sector could benefit even more from sodium-ion batteries. Delivery vans, city buses, and trucks do not need the highest energy density. These vehicles operate on predictable routes with regular charging opportunities. So, sodium-ion batteries are actually perfect for commercial fleet applications. CATL has already started working with commercial vehicle manufacturers on this. They are developing battery packs specifically designed for heavy-duty use. And the lower cost of sodium-ion batteries makes fleet electrification more viable. Logistics companies can save millions on fuel costs by switching to electric vehicles. This is why Amazon and UPS are watching battery developments very closely. Energy storage is perhaps the most overlooked opportunity for this new technology. Solar and wind power generate electricity only when the sun shines or wind blows. But energy demand continues throughout the night and on calm weather days. So we need massive battery systems to store renewable energy for later use. Sodium-ion batteries are ideally suited for this stationary storage application. They do not need to be lightweight or compact like vehicle batteries must be, and the lower cost per kilowatt-hour makes them extremely attractive for utilities. CATL is investing heavily in grid-scale energy storage solutions right now. They see this as a massive growth market that rivals the EV industry itself. This is the part of their master plan that very few people appreciate fully. The company wants to be involved in every part of the energy transition. Not just cars, but homes, businesses, and entire cities powered by their batteries. Imagine a world where every building has a CATL battery on the wall. That battery charges during the day from solar panels on the roof, and then it powers the building throughout the night when solar is unavailable. This kind of distributed energy system could make traditional power grids obsolete, and CATL is positioning themselves to be the backbone of this new infrastructure. They are not just a battery company anymore, they are an energy company now. But there is a darker side to this story that rarely gets discussed publicly. The demand for battery raw materials will only increase regardless of chemistry. Even sodium-ion batteries require other metals like manganese and iron. And mining these materials also carries environmental and social consequences. So the transition away from lithium does not solve all the problems overnight. It simply shifts the environmental burden to different raw materials instead. CATL has acknowledged this challenge and is working on recycling programs too. They want to create a closed loop where old batteries become new batteries. This would reduce the need for mining new materials over the long term. But this recycling infrastructure does not exist yet on any meaningful scale. The timeline for commercialization is another critical factor to consider carefully. CATL has said they will begin producing sodium-ion batteries in large quantities, but they have not given a specific date for widespread availability to automakers. Industry analysts expect initial production to start around 2026 or 2027, and even then, it will take several years to reach full manufacturing capacity. So consumers should not expect cheap sodium-ion EVs in the next 2 years. However, the direction is clear, and the investment is already happening globally. Every major automaker is preparing for a future with multiple battery technologies, and the companies that adapt fastest will have the strongest market positions. The real question is whether consumers will actually notice the difference. Most drivers care about range, charging speed, price, and overall reliability. If sodium-ion batteries deliver on these factors, nobody will care about chemistry. They simply want vehicles that work well and do not cost too much money. CATL understands this, and focuses on the user experience rather than specifications. Their marketing emphasizes practical benefits instead of technical battery details. And this approach has worked remarkably well for them over the past decade. Tesla's response to CATL's new batteries will be fascinating to watch unfold. Tesla could either adopt CATL's sodium-ion batteries or develop their own versions. Elon Musk has expressed interest in sodium-ion technology on several occasions. But Tesla also has their own battery research division working on alternatives. They may choose to license CATL's technology or create a joint venture together. Either way, Tesla will not ignore what CATL is doing in this space. The competition between these two companies continues to push innovation forward. And ultimately, consumers benefit from this race to build better batteries. BYD has already launched vehicles with sodium-ion batteries in some Chinese markets. They are currently testing the technology in small city cars and commercial vehicles. Early results appear promising, but widespread adoption is still a few years away. BYD has the advantage of vertical integration across their entire supply chain. They mine raw materials, manufacture cells, and assemble vehicles all themselves. So they can control costs better than most other automakers in the world. This gives them flexibility to experiment with different battery chemistries quickly. CATL must convince automakers to use their batteries instead of building their own. That makes their sales strategy different from BYD's integrated manufacturing approach. Toyota has been surprisingly quiet about sodium-ion technology in their announcements. The Japanese automaker continues to promote solid-state batteries as the holy grail. But solid-state remains expensive and difficult to manufacture at commercial scale. Toyota may need to reconsider their strategy if sodium-ion proves successful first. Waiting too long could put them behind competitors who adopt the technology sooner. The automotive industry moves slowly, but battery technology is accelerating rapidly. Companies that hesitate risk being left behind in this critical transition period. Volkswagen has already signed supply agreements with multiple battery manufacturers worldwide. They want to diversify their battery sources to avoid any supply chain disruptions. This cautious approach makes sense given the volatility of the current market. Hyundai and Kia are also developing their own battery technologies with partners. They have established research centers focused on next-generation battery chemistries. And they are working closely with Korean battery manufacturers like LG and SK. But they are also watching CATL's progress with sodium-ion technology very carefully. No automaker wants to be caught relying on outdated battery technology. The competitive landscape is shifting faster than most industry observers expected. And the companies that adapt quickly will have a significant market advantage. The future of the electric vehicle market looks very different from today's reality. We will likely see multiple battery chemistries coexisting for different applications. Premium vehicles may stick with high-energy density lithium for maximum range, while budget vehicles adopt sodium-ion batteries to reduce overall manufacturing costs. Commercial fleets might use sodium-ion exclusively because of the lower operating costs. And grid storage will almost certainly migrate away from expensive lithium solutions. This diverse landscape is exactly what CATL envisions for the coming decades. They want to serve every segment of the market with specialized battery solutions, and their massive research budget allows them to pursue multiple technologies simultaneously. Safety is another area where sodium-ion batteries could offer real advantages. The chemistry is inherently more stable than lithium in certain failure conditions. Thermal runaway is less likely to occur with sodium-based battery technology. This means fewer fire incidents and greater peace of mind for vehicle owners. CATL has subjected their sodium-ion cells to extensive safety testing already. The results have been encouraging and meet or exceed current safety standards. Automakers are particularly interested in this aspect of sodium-ion technology. Safety concerns remain one of the biggest barriers to widespread EV adoption today. So, any improvement in battery safety could accelerate consumer acceptance significantly. Cold weather performance is another major selling point for sodium-ion batteries. Lithium batteries lose 30% or more range in freezing temperatures. But sodium-ion batteries maintain their performance much better in cold conditions. This makes them ideal for regions with harsh winters and extreme climates. EV adoption in Canada and Northern Europe could finally match warmer regions, and automakers can confidently sell EVs in markets they previously avoided entirely. CATL has tested their batteries in temperatures as low as 20 degrees below zero. The performance degradation was minimal compared to traditional lithium batteries. This finding has generated significant interest from global automakers immediately. The environmental impact of manufacturing batteries remains a pressing concern. Mining lithium, cobalt, and nickel carries serious environmental and social costs. Sodium-ion batteries require less environmentally destructive mining operations. Sodium is abundant and can be extracted from seawater with minimal ecological damage. This makes the overall carbon footprint of sodium-ion batteries substantially smaller, and consumers increasingly care about the environmental impact of their purchases. Automakers can use sodium-ion batteries to improve their sustainability credentials. This marketing advantage should not be underestimated in today's climate-conscious world. CATL's research and development spending is among the highest in the industry. They invest billions of dollars annually into new battery technologies and processes. This commitment to innovation has made them the undisputed leader in battery manufacturing. And their sodium-ion research is just one part of a much broader technology portfolio. They are also working on solid-state batteries, lithium-sulfur, and other exotic chemistries. But sodium-ion is the most commercially ready alternative to lithium today. That is why they are pushing so aggressively to bring this technology to market. The first production vehicles with CATL sodium-ion batteries are coming very soon. What makes this story truly remarkable is the scale of CATL's ambition. They are not content to simply supply batteries to other companies forever. Their goal is to become the central energy storage provider for the entire world. Every home, every business, and every vehicle could eventually use CATL technology. This vision requires massive investment in manufacturing, research, and infrastructure. And CATL is building exactly that capability across multiple continents right now. They have factories in China, Europe, and soon North America as well. This global footprint gives them resilience against regional disruptions or conflicts. The political implications of battery technology are becoming increasingly important. Countries that control battery manufacturing have significant economic leverage globally. China currently dominates the battery supply chain, from mining to finished cells. This has caused concern among Western governments about energy security issues. Sodium-ion batteries could reduce dependence on critical minerals from specific countries. Because sodium is available everywhere, more nations can manufacture their own batteries. This democratization of battery production could shift geopolitical power dynamics. And it explains why many governments are funding sodium-ion research programs now. But let us return to what actually matters for everyday drivers around the world. Will your next electric car have a sodium-ion battery instead of lithium technology? The answer depends on what kind of vehicle you want to purchase today. If you buy a premium long-range EV, it will probably still use lithium. But if you choose an affordable city car, sodium-ion might be the better option. And commercial vehicles like delivery vans will likely switch to sodium-ion first. Over time, the technology will improve, and sodium-ion will compete in more segments. Within 10 years, sodium-ion could be the dominant battery type globally, and lithium might become a premium option reserved for high-performance applications. This is exactly how the transition from petrol to electric happened gradually too. The charging infrastructure also needs to keep pace with new battery technologies. Faster charging batteries require more powerful charging stations to deliver electricity, and sodium-ion batteries have slightly different charging characteristics than lithium. But the existing charging networks can support sodium-ion with minor modifications. So the infrastructure transition should be relatively smooth compared to previous changes. CATL is working with charging companies to ensure compatibility and optimal performance. They understand that batteries and charging infrastructure must evolve together successfully. A great battery is useless without convenient places to recharge it daily. So CATL is investing in charging technology as part of their overall ecosystem strategy. The cost reduction from sodium-ion batteries will benefit more than just car buyers. Electric buses could become cheaper for cities to purchase and operate daily. This would allow more municipalities to transition their transit fleets to electric. Cleaner public transportation benefits everyone through improved air quality naturally. Delivery companies could afford more electric vans without increasing shipping costs, and this would reduce emissions from the growing e-commerce logistics sector significantly. Even ride-sharing companies like Uber could transition to electric vehicles faster. Lower vehicle costs mean more drivers can afford to switch from petrol cars. And every vehicle electrified reduces the carbon emissions of personal transportation. The renewable energy sector stands to gain enormously from cheaper battery storage. Solar and wind power become far more valuable when energy can be stored easily. Utilities can install large sodium-ion battery banks to store excess renewable generation. Then they discharge that stored power during peak demand when electricity is expensive. This reduces the need for natural gas peaker plants that emit carbon dioxide. And it makes renewable energy more reliable and dispatchable than ever before. Sodium-ion batteries are perfect for this application because cost matters most here. Energy density is secondary when the battery does not need to move at all. So CATL sees grid storage as potentially larger than the EV market itself. Now consider what happens when battery costs drop low enough for home storage. Every household could install solar panels and a battery on their property. They would generate their own electricity during the day and use it at night. This would eliminate monthly electricity bills entirely for many homeowners, and it would make homes more resilient during power outages or grid failures. CATL already offers home battery systems in several markets around the world, and sodium-ion technology could make these systems affordable for average families. This represents a massive opportunity for energy independence at the individual level. The traditional utility business model would face serious disruption from this trend. But challenges remain, and we should not pretend this transition will be simple. Manufacturing sodium-ion batteries at scale requires entirely new production processes, and these processes need to be refined through years of real-world experience. Quality control must be rigorous to ensure safety and reliability over time. CATL has the expertise to do this, but it will still take significant effort. They are building pilot production lines to test their manufacturing approaches now, and they are working with automakers to validate the batteries in actual vehicles. This careful validation process cannot be rushed without compromising quality or safety. So, patience is required as these technologies move from laboratories to roads. The competition between battery technologies will ultimately make everything better. Lithium batteries will improve to remain competitive against sodium-ion alternatives, and sodium-ion will improve to close the gap with lithium in energy density. This technological competition drives innovation faster than any single company could. Automakers will have more choices and can select the best battery for each vehicle. And consumers will benefit from better performance, lower costs, and more options. The golden age of battery technology is just beginning to unfold before us. CATL is leading this charge, but many other companies are contributing significantly too. So, when you hear about CATL's new battery technology, understand the bigger picture. This is not just about replacing lithium with sodium in a simple swap. It is about building a diversified energy ecosystem for the 21st century. And it is about making electric transportation accessible to people everywhere. The transition will happen gradually, but the direction is absolutely unmistakable now. Batteries will become cheaper, safer, and more sustainable with every passing year. And that benefits everyone who cares about clean energy and a better planet. The revolution is coming, and CATL is building the batteries that will power it. Stay with me, because this changes everything about how we think about cars. Write this down. The future of driving is about to become much more affordable, and the company making it possible is not a car manufacturer at all. It is CATL, the battery giant that very few people have heard about yet. But after today, you will never look at electric vehicles the same way. If you found this breakdown valuable, consider sharing it with someone who drives. And let me know in the comments what you think about sodium-ion batteries. Would you buy an electric car with this technology if it cost less? The conversation about our energy future is just getting started right now.